Welcome to Movie Recap, a channel dedicated to those addicted to movies. Our focus is to showcase the best recap of your favorite flick. Sit back, grab your popcorn and get ready to be amazed by the Hollow Man. Sebastian Caine, a bright but conceited scientist, has found a means to make matter invisible after years of research. Caine uses himself as the subject to push his team to the next phase in their quest for the big breakthrough. The test is successful, but Caine is destined to live without flesh when the procedure cannot be undone. Spoilers ahead. Dr. Sebastian Caine plays Dr. Jack Griffin in this movie, which is partially based on H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man and updates the narrative to the 20th century. In this retelling of Wells' tale, the physician is a bright molecular biologist who harbors a hint of megalomania. He is developing a serum that will make a person visible again and an invisibility serum for the US military. For the past 4 years, Sebastian has been working to perfect the recipe. He uses animals held in a top-secret, hidden military lab that is only accessible to him and his team for his studies. His current study involves trying to reverse the invisibility effect on Isabel, a female ape who serves as his test subject. The team found that while phase-shifting a living thing into invisibility was simple, bringing it back to visibility has proven to be extremely challenging. He solves the issue and promptly notifies the senior members of his team of his accomplishment while working late one night on reconfiguring the molecular model of the irradiated protein that would bring Isabel back to visibility. Despite dedicating almost all of his waking hours to working on the serum, Sebastian develops an obsession with Dr. Linda McKay, a scientist who works for him. She has been associated with Dr. Matt Kensington, a fellow member of their study group, without his knowledge. Sebastian eventually makes the serum work on the gorilla with the help of his colleagues, which also include technologists Frank Chase and Janice Walton and vets Sarah Kennedy and Carter Abbey. Sebastian raises a glass to the best research group in the world as the group celebrates by going out to a beautiful meal. But since reversion was the last significant advancement, Sebastian feels like it's the end. Sebastian mysteriously lies to the oversight committee, which includes his former instructor Dr. Howard Kramer, rather than informing the military of his achievement. He also manipulates Linda and Matt into lying to the other 4 members of the team by claiming that Kramer and the board had approved their use of human subjects for experimentation. The topic: Sebastian the individual. The process is successful even if there was a difficult transition to openness. After suffering from shock for almost 17 hours, Sebastian awakens in agony and shrinks away from the surrounding light upon learning he can see through his eyelids. After that, he checks himself clinically. But after 3 days, when it's time to go back to visibility, the reversion fails and nearly kills him. For Sebastian to wear about the lab, the researchers make a latex mask that roughly resembles a human face. In the interim, Matt finds a potentially effective means to restore Sebastian's visibility. But a computer simulation doesn't work. Sebastian's tolerance starts to wear thin over the course of the following few days due to the lab's virtual confinement and isolation. He slips away, breaking both Carter's and his own rules, and heads to his flat to retrieve books, CDs, and Twinkies to bring back to the lab. There, temptation overcomes him and he proceeds to rape his neighbor while being completely undetectable after first spying on her. When Linda arrives at the flat, she discovers the clothes and mask but not Sebastian. Just as the others were about to follow him, Sebastian comes back to the lab. Linda threatens him, saying that she and Matt would tell Dr. Kramer what they did if he leaves again. Disregarding their warning, he puts together a gadget that records his heat signature on camera and plays it back to Frank in his quarters. Frank is duped into thinking Sebastian is still at the lab when, in reality, he is out spying on Linda and Matt. Sebastian breaks Linda and Matt's bedroom window at Linda's house as soon as he notices them getting ready for sex. Frank answers the phone and informs the two that Sebastian is still sleeping. Sebastian, who is furious at the idea of Linda and Matt together, is furiously furious as he returns to the lab. Sebastian approaches the unseen dog, reassures it that he doesn't mean any harm, and then uses his bare hands to viciously beat it against the cage wall in order to end its annoying barking. Sebastian has been leaving without their knowledge, as the team quickly finds out when they realize they have been watching a recording. Matt and Linda visit Dr. Kramer's home and inform him about the Sebastian experiment. Disappointed, Dr. Kramer informs them that they are no longer working on the project. Then, Dr. Kramer tries to phone the military to let them know about Sebastian, but in reality, Sebastian has followed Linda and Matt into the house. After tricking Kramer into leaving the house, Sebastian drowns him in his own pool. Taking a quick response to the problem, Sebastian disables all of the elevator codes and phones the following day, saving just his own, after waiting for the entire team to enter the lab. He starts hunting them all down after taking off his clothes and rubber mask. He uses an 4-line to strangle Janice and stuffs her body inside a locker while the squad looks for Sebastian. Janice lags behind. Following their discovery of Janet's body, Linda, Sarah, and Frank shelter in the lab as Matt and Carter use tranquilizer guns to search the empty hallways for Sebastian while wearing thermographic imaging goggles. Matt points a steam vent's heat signature at it. Turning around, Matt sees Sebastian perched atop a pipe, yanking Carter into the air. As Matt tries to shoot him, Sebastian knocks Carter to the ground and slashes his carotid artery, which results in significant blood loss. Matt is on the verge of death from Sebastian when Linda pulls him away. Frank and Sarah discover a critically injured and hardly conscious Carter. Against Frank's desires, Sarah leaves to obtain blood on her own for a transfusion. She splatters blood all over the room, sensing Sebastian is close by, waiting for him to step on it and give away his whereabouts. Sebastian, however, attacks her, snaps her neck with the tranquilizer dart, and then fires again. Frank is seen by Linda and Matt ministering to a dying Carter. The three go look for Sarah while Carter bleeds to death. In the walk-in freezer, they discover her dead. When Frank uses a fire extinguisher to try to reveal Sebastian, Sebastian approaches from behind and uses a crowbar to impale Frank. Then he stabs Matt in the lower chest, holding the hook end there. Matt and Linda are left to freeze to death by Sebastian, who locks them in the freezer and completely lowers the temperature. Sebastian spends a lot of time making sure he looks almost normal as he dons his latex mask and clothes. Linda, in the meantime, uses duct tape to bandage Matt's wound before devising a plan to get out of the freezer. Using a defibrillator and some lab supplies, Linda creates an electromagnet that she uses to open the door. She gets the components for a flamethrower and creates a fire to keep Matt warm. Sebastian has been producing nitroglycerin in the lab with the intention of destroying the space and hiding the team's deaths. In order to ensure that it cannot be halted, he places the nitro in a centrifuge, sets a timer, and destroys the keyboard. He's about to depart in the elevator when Linda shows in and lashes out at him with her rudimentary blowtorch. Sebastian just makes it out of the flames, his clothes burning away and his rubber mask melting. He is partially visible when Linda activates the ceiling sprinklers with the flamethrower. As she is about to lose the fight, Matt shows up and uses the crowbar to hit Sebastian. After getting up, Sebastian grabs the crowbar and swings it, electrocuting himself when he smashes it into a fuse box while still wet. Sebastian becomes partially visible as the electricity flows through his body. His skin and what's left of his hair are invisible, but his muscles, bones, and organs are apparent. When Linda and Matt notice that the nitro is going to blow up, they make the decision to leave the lab and ascend the elevator shaft. The lab blows up, shooting fire into the shaft. Sebastian shows up just as the two are about to leave. He struggles with Linda, giving her one last kiss, for old time's sake, before she kills him by snatching the elevator cable and causing the car to come loose, which sends Sebastian flying into the blazing below. After a while, Linda and Matt both come out of the flaming lab and emergency personnel drive them off in an ambulance. We really hope you enjoyed today's recap of The Hollow Man. Please leave a comment below of what you loved about the movie and why. Be sure to like the video and please don't forget to support our channel by subscribing so you don't miss any amazing content. Until next time, lights, camera, action. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.